Hey, what's up with it, guys? Hey, welcome back to another video. I know it has been a minute since I have posted anything up on YouTube, so I apologize for that in advance, but I have been playing a lot of Classic, and I wanted to kind of give you guys an update of where I'm at and what I'm going to be doing here moving forward, because I am going to start posting again. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming as much or at all because of just time and availability, but I am going to be posting, and so I wanted to let you guys know kind of what I'm doing here moving forward in my loadout come phase 2 and PvP. So with that being said, you can see here I am on my Druid. So this is the character that I have. This is like my main, basically. I have some alts and other characters I've been playing, but this is my main. And this is kind of my loadout I'm going into here with the honor system coming out. So I'm just going to go through real quick, but the majority of my gear is tier gear, and that's really the priority as far as just the fact that it has so many stats on it. A lot of it does have plus healing, which I would prefer if it was damage and healing. However, the plus healing isn't really bad, and we get so much int, stim, spirit, armor, things like that from that gear, and MP5 crit, where that gear is just the best that we have right now. Maybe it'll change when PvP gear comes out. But with that being said, that's what I'm trying to get. So I'm trying to basically get my full tier 1 or 5 pieces of my tier 1, and then my legs and my helm of my tier 2. If I can get that, that's my optimal setup. The only exception to that is, you'll see here, is I'm rocking the Banthox Sash, which is out of BRD Arena, which has 1% hit to spells, and the other thing being the Star of Mystaria, which is out of the last boss in Strat Live. Both of these are the only 2 pieces you can currently get that have spell hit on them. For me at least. I think there's some class trinkets maybe that have some, I don't know for sure. But PvP hit cap is 3% for spells, and so these 2 pieces give you 2%, which is as high as you can get. So you still have a 1% chance that spells are going to miss, but those are the most important pieces in my opinion for your set. Is if you want to try and get that 2% spell hit, because missing an Entangling Roots or a Hibernate or things like that can be detrimental in winning fights. Much more so than 5 intellect or some variable amount of stats. Like, for example, if I rock the leather belt here, I think it's like 100 armor, so it's like 60 armor. It's like negligible. It's not a very big difference, and that spell hit is crucial to have. So those 2 pieces I think are arguably, honestly, like my most important pieces of the set. Everything else you can kind of have some other variants of Druid gear and be fine. One other point to mention is I have the Cyclone Spalders. These are actually really, really good. The only reason I would use the tier gear over this, I think, is to try and get the 5-piece bonus on my tier set, which is 2% crit, which I personally value a lot because of Nature's Grace. And I'll go through my talents real quick here in a second. And then you can see I got Hide of the Wild is my cloak, which is just a really strong cloak in general. Tier chest, tier bracers, tier gloves, and then I have tier 1 legs. Boots, I'm hoping I can get my tier boots, would be ideal. I just don't know if I'll be able to get them or not. But we also have Boots of the Shrieker, is also a really good option. Just a lot of stats in general that is just really helpful. Now my rings, I got the Heavy Dark Iron ring, which was just like an off-spec roll in Molten Core. This is actually huge because it has 20 stamina, and the 110 armor is really helpful for us in bear form. I also got pretty lucky and I got Onyxia's head. And Onyxia's ring is actually really good for PvP as well because it has that crit and it's just got good stats on it. So I got pretty lucky here with my rings. These are pretty huge going into phase 2. These are going to be really, really big for me. Now I have most of my engineering stuff I have is all in the bank, so I don't have all that up like on my character right now. But I'll probably end up rocking Briarwood Reed and then an engineering trinket or an armor trinket until I get the PvP trinket. So the armor trinkets I have, Smoking Heart of the Mountain, I think is what it's called. And then there's the other one that's like 180 armor and 1% dodge, like Mark of Tyranny or something like that. Either of those are also really good because it scales into bear form as well. It just helps a lot with rogues and warriors. But again, I'm planning on having basically all my trinkets in my bags come PvP and kind of swapping accordingly. But I think Briarwood Reed is going to be kind of my go-to until I get a PvP trinket, and then be basically alternating between either the armor trinkets or the engineering trinkets that are associated with it. And then we also have here Finkel's Lava Dredger, and I have the 55 healing on that. So I'm pretty decked out and ready to go into phase 2, honestly. Like I'm in a pretty good spot. Obviously there's a couple upgrades I could use, but all in all, I'm sitting pretty good. Now, real quick, just to go over my talents, I'm playing 30-0-21. So you can pause this at any time if you want to look at this. This is a pretty standard build though, but it's a pretty good like caster offensive build. The fact that I have Moon Fury, we got Vengeance, Moonglow, and Nature's Grace. So Nature's Grace is big, which is why I really prioritize crit, because you get Moonfire crits all the time, and especially even so you can like, because I have it where you can't see it right now, but you can like basically spam rank 1 Moonfire so that it's mana efficient and bait out a crit, and then have a reduced cast time on your Entangling Roots or Regrowth and things like that. So you can kind of play this to your advantage in a lot of ways, both offensively and defensively. So that's why I personally really value crit, which is why I really want to try and get to my 5-piece bonus if I can, going into the PvP here. Nature's Grace, pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these are pretty self-explanatory talents. And then the main thing here in Resto is you want to go ahead and get Nature Swiftness. I personally took improved rejuvenation because you use rejuve so much in PvP. Tranquil Spirit is a better talent for PvE, I would argue, because you're spamming a lot more healing touches, but this was kind of just like a selfish PvP choice in my talent tree here. And you can see going into it, I don't have that much gold. I do have some alts with a lot of items and stuff on them. I'll go real quick through just a couple of the important ones so this video is not too long, but like this is my herb alt that I have. So I've just got a bunch of herbs stocked up. I also have an alchemist. This is the actual alchemist character. So I have some more herbs on this guy with the mats for like lips and faps and things like that. These elemental waters are for frost protection potions, which I think are going to go up in price here pretty soon. And then none of this other stuff is too exciting, and this is my like PvP loadout character. So I'll make a quick video kind of going into detail on this as well, but my plan is to basically just mail stuff to this character and have a lot of my mats just sitting in the mail, rather than trying to keep them all on one character in my bank or things like that. The mail system is definitely something I didn't use back in the day to help organize my stuff, and I've used a lot now, so this is huge. But the food here is actually really helpful because you instantly get the 10 stamina buff. You don't have to sit there and eat. Like you click it and you can be moving and you can get it. Just some iron grenades here, a bunch of restorative potions. We got some limited invulnerability, free action. I have some more in the bank on this guy as well. I'm going to get 20 more sappers here just to have those. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to use sappers effectively really as a resto druid, so I don't want to stock up on those too much. But for me, I think that the restorative potions are going to be the most important for me as a druid, because I think warlocks and shadow priests are pretty hard to counter to us in a lot of scenarios, and I think those will counter them pretty hard. For the most part, I'm not having too much of a difficulty with rogues and warriors, and if I am dying to them, it's usually because of my fault. So, or like, you know, something I could have done better. So we'll see. Maybe my opinion will change on that here moving forward, but you know, we'll see. Anyways, that's kind of my like basic loadout. I just want to kind of give you guys an idea. My plan is just to be PvPing. If I do have time, I'm going to try and stream. But with that being said, I will be posting some videos up here in the future, so keep an eye out for those, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya.